Hello, welcome to Date Night Live. It's Miss Carol Melvin, Lady Elizabeth Autumn, and Guru Brando. Me, your host. What?
Get quite flash.
Oh, yeah. It does that each and every time. Okay, so, um, right out of the gate, gonna put it out there. Somber news. You had a death in the family. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. But not a whole lot. Do you want to talk now?
If we can get it out of the way.
Okay, so your sister Melody.
She was 4 years older than me.
Yeah. And she passed away on the 17th. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so we've been kind of preparing to go back to Texas. So we're going to talk just a little bit about that because we're talking about back in our day, back in the 80s, right? And you grew up in Tennessee and Texas, right? Back
Mostly,
and forth.
Yeah.
So will you talk a little bit about that? Back
Yeah.
in our day, your school, who you grew up with?
Well, living in Tennessee, where we did it was we were in Sticksville, like, by definition, up in the hills, and
Where they have hollers and cricks?
yes, they have hollows and creeks, and I used to spend my evenings exploring, all the woods out there whenever there was nothing else to do, which was all the time because there were no neighbors.
No neighbors is good.
No neighbors, no nothing.
That's good.
And well, to, 9, 10, 11-year-old self, it was
Oh yeah, that's Oliver's age right
pretty
now.
serious lack of
Yeah.
external stimulation.
Yeah, and Oliver was just in here bugging, trying to go to the park where he's probably gonna die on roller skates right now.
I don't know. He'll excel.
Okay. Anyway, carry on.
um, it was country living. It really was simple. Nature. Everywhere you looked, it was just nature. You were in it all the time. There was, no city anything, and so it was pretty. It was quiet, but it was just alone. Solitary.
I think that's what makes you so great is that nature aspect. Like I like how connected you are, right? How sensitive you are, and that's part of that. Did you enjoy, I guess, your upbringing after you got older? Did you enjoy the fact that you were raised that way?
Yeah, part of me did. It's a lot of the first experience I had for the age, and at the same time, though, I didn't know what it was like to have a lifelong friend.
That's actually what this is about, and that's why I wanted to mention your sister early on, is because this is all about who our best friends first are, and it's usually our siblings. And so we kind of learn how to be friends with other people based on how we grow up at home.
Yeah, I think the closest that we got to that was Derek, because he's the most like the longest friendship that I've had, in my life, with you.
Yeah. Yeah, you, me, Derek, and Josh Presley, and a few other people. We kind of raised each other. It's weird when you think about it. And Chad Miller, and gosh, we're still friends with these people. Jennifer Arnold, people that we went to school with, and I still talk to periodically. They'll come to mind. Amy, all these different people. We get to see their kids grow up, and we see our friends and their kids, and then we have to say, "Holy crap! Does that mean that people can see us and our kids too?" I think about that. Like whenever I was looking at Lucas, he's in 8th grade, and holy crap,
Yeah, I think only
he
really,
looks so different now.
only our closest friends probably really, see that stuff.
Like Margaret,
Yeah.
my precious Margaret, my chocolate pudding. That's what I call her, chocolate pudding. Carol, what about you growing up in school and stuff? Were you a cringy little turd?
Oh, everybody's cringy at some point.
Not me, whatever. I wasn't cringy. I'm cringy now. I am the cringe.
Okay.
Anyway. So, with you in school and stuff, were you part of the in crowd? And don't lie. I'll fact check you.
Not elementary or middle. High school, I was friends with everybody. I would never say I was part of the in crowd, but partied with a lot of people.
I know what friends with everybody means, because I was friends with everybody too. And Beth, you went away. You went away to the military right after, so you didn't really keep up with many of those people.
No, just basically you and Derek.
Yeah, how dysfunctional. But, I look at growing up, and my siblings were 6 and 7 years older than me. And so everybody that I'm friends with is 6 and 7 years older than me. Y'all and Mandy, and I guess, well, no, Joe's older too. So it's like,
I hung out with older people.
yeah, and I was really kind of just naturally brought into that. But your siblings are older too.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that earlier. They're how much older than you? I look like Gallagher, y'all. I look like Gallagher, I'm aware, okay? Don't hassle me.
My oldest sibling, my sister, is 20 years older than me.
20 years.
And I'm
Yeah.
a baby. But yeah,
So that means she's just 40, right?
No.
She's just 49?
Joe just commented.
Oh. What's up, Joe?
He never was in school, always had a 10-day vacation or longer.
I'm not even remotely surprised. Shame on you, Joe. I was a good student, and I graduated early because I went to an alternative school. I couldn't hack it in regular high school anymore. At that point, I was already addicted to street drugs. I was using coke, and to kind of cure the depression, I guess, and then heroin to cure the binge. Yeah, and so it's like, I wish I had just smoked weed back then. If I had just smoked weed, then maybe all that wouldn't have happened. But I started straight with pharmaceuticals, So it's like most of my time, I guess, was lost. I look back at it now and I'm like, my kids are having a regular, typical teen young adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to watch my clients, by the way. That's what's so freaking cool. Is I have all these clients right now that are going off to college. Ooh, and my heart just did that fluttery thing. When I think about it, all these kids are going off to college and they're becoming these real people.
Yeah.
And it's really great to watch. And I get to watch Trinity, become who she is going to become. And it's fantastic. And it makes me joyful. And I just got another good report, by the way. One of my clients, the cholesterol is down, maintaining lower weight, so on a steady losing streak. And so it's like, yes, I know you can do this without having to take statins. That's what she was trying to avoid. And so it's so fantastic. It feels really good. So I like that feeling, that sort of adrenaline rush. But then there's the crash where you go, crap, now I have to trust myself enough to be able to be invited on someone else's journey again. Because it really is, as a life coach, it's an invitation into their lives. And I really feel that way. So I'm hoping that I have a new influx of clients, since all of my other ones have done so well and are moving on. And
Work yourself out of a job.
I know, but it's like that's what brought to mind, all of this 80s-ness. Because you peak at some point in your life and you're like, This is the greatest. This is all there is. Right. And you just get comfortable and you're like, yeah, I'm 40 something and this is the life. Kick back in the Midwest and chill. But really you don't. Not if you're truly motivated, you don't just kick back. You find something to motivate you to do more and better, right? And I know I haven't peaked. And so it's like, why would I get comfortable right now? And so I keep talking to Beth about I have this anxiety feeling. Well, it's because I need to get my head square. I need to get back on my path. I've put so much time and effort into trying to survive COVID and to make sure that my doors stay open during COVID that I forgot to kind of reinvest that in myself. And so now I'm going through the motions of cutting back some time at work so I can develop personally. So we got to start going to the Cordy. We got to start doing some stuff for me and y'all. And that will happen after you get back because you're going to make a trip to Texas. And it's going to be awful and great at the same time. I'm not going with you this time. That's the great part for you.
For you.
No, yeah, for you. I'm not going
That's
to be there
terrible.
to micromanage
I have an
you.
anxiety bump to, go through. Flying for the first time is Beth.
Oh, truth. Wow. I remember, I remember flying for the first time as Brandon. And, that anxiety is tremendous. And, they ended up keeping, something from my luggage. Do you remember whenever I was going to, where was I going to? Oh, I guess when I was going home one of the times and I had to fly.
Oh, maybe when you were on the plane with the Bruins at one time.
Oh, probably, yeah. They confiscated my package.
Really?
Yeah. And I ended up getting a letter from the airline and blah, 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 all this other stuff. And ultimately, I ended up getting a voucher for the amount of it. But it was like, holy crap. I had totally forgot about that entire situation. And it just took one memory, Southwest Airlines. It just took that one memory to bring it up. And you're flying Southwest. And so that came to mind. And the last time I was actually in Houston was whenever we went to her wedding. Right?
That's what I was telling Carol, I think, just yesterday. It was 2000, just before June 2003.
Oh, yeah, because that's when
Was it
Laura
like
was
8
born.
months?
Yeah, because I was really, really pregnant. Looked about like I do now.
Lori's on. Hi, Lori.
Oh, sweet. What up, Lori? We were just talking about you earlier. And I'm thinking that you need to come by for a visit and give us some updates. I want to talk about the clients where they went to school and stuff like that. So all these clients that I had, I want you to let me know your experiences at school and were you popular or not. I was hell popular with myself. 100% of the time with myself. I was very fluid. Can you imagine?
No way.
Yeah, I was. So what brought all this on was this whole Friday Night Videos thing. Do either of y'all remember what Friday Night Videos was?
I used to watch it because
You are a horrible
when
person.
I lived where we didn't have MTV.
Cable or television half the time.
Or Friends.
I didn't have friends.
I'm
Really.
teasing.
Came on regular antenna television.
Yes, it did, and that's why I saw it. And sometimes it was Sketchville where it was rolling and stuff, but I didn't even care. I got
Gotta
to
go
hear.
back behind the TV and jiggle the board or
I
fix
got
your bunny
to-
ears.
I got to hear it most of the time, and it was pretty amazing. And I remember though watching, the one where he's dancing around in the candles.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the police wrapped
Yeah,
around your finger.
yeah. I remember watching that and Shock the Monkey.
Yeah.
Oh my God, do you remember that video? That was just horrible. It was just awful. Yeah.
Sometimes when I was in Texas and I was staying at my staying in Houston with like my aunts and uncles and my grandparents, they all had MTV. And so anytime that I was in Houston, I got to watch a lot of MTV because Melody watched a lot of MTV, and it was usually she was in charge of the TV.
That's how it was with my siblings. We watched a whole lot of crap that was probably totally inappropriate for us because they watched it. Ooh, we were talking about Jim earlier.
Yep, Jim and Holograms.
Jim was pretty amazing. And I watched lame crap like Dragnet and MathNet on PBS.
The only time I was able to have the TV and have my preferences be recognized was Saturday morning cartoons, and then it was every other cartoon I got to pick. So there was more than one channel that had Saturday morning cartoons.
I was like, what's that mean you got to pick?
Because my brother and I would trade off.
Well, we only had one cartoon channel, so I mean, it's like I was like,
PBS,
wait, yeah, we just had PBS. That sucks. But I got to watch Rugrats before they were a thing. Back when they were, weird. Rugrats, do you remember that? Back when they were weird, they weren't always on Nickelodeon.
Oh,
No. It started out they were on like PBS. It was really sketch and weird. You have to look that crap up.
Add it to my list.
What was the snacks y'all had after school? Like, what was that? That was a thing, right? We'd come in from school and we'd get a snack, or was that just on TV? I really don't remember. Like, my memory's sketchy.
I had, yeah, go ahead.
For a good part of my childhood, from like 5 or 6 to 10, my best friend was my next door neighbor, and they had MTV, and they had snacks, and so we got off the
They were
bus,
the place to
I
hang
would go
out.
to her house first. So I don't really remember us having any type of snacks or anything like that. I'm sure I did at the house, but I don't remember it.
I remember when I was in elementary school, I would go over to Lindy's house, which was my granny's neighbor. So we would go over there, and that was her grandparents' house. So after school, we'd both be there, and she would have pudding pops. Yeah.
Jello pudding
And we
pops.
could only have one. And that was like a hard rule. You could only have one. And it was the best time of my life. And my granny had Dr. Peppers in the glass bottle in the garage. She'd pour it over ice. And it was fantastic. And now I'm like, crap, when am I supposed to eat? Wait, what do we have? I care so little about foodstuffs unless you're talking about that 80s wonderful feel-in food like Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Say Pizza Hut and you have my attention.
I kind of think about food all day.
Yeah, you do. Well, what was your favorite go-to restaurant growing up? Like we only had two.
I remember going to Pizza Hut once or twice because my brother, both brothers and my sister were in sports. So for the sports banquets at the end of a season,
Yeah.
they would have it there. But we were not.
Yeah, Pizza
affluent.
Hut used
we
to
did not go out to eat.
Pizza
We
Hut
didn't.
used to be
We
a
ate
social
at home.
place. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Mhm.
It used to be like where teams got together and shit.
Mhm.
We lost our Pizza Hut. Did you say that you weren't affluent?
We weren't affluent. We didn't go to restaurants.
Okay,
But my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so
Right.
she cooked breakfast, lunch, dinner.
we had two restaurants. We had Dairy Queen and Pizza Hut.
There was a fish restaurant we went to after church.
See,
My
now you're
dad passed
talking.
away. The Sandpiper.
Did you say after?
Before my dad
Oh,
passed
sweet.
away. So we went, it was by the church. That was his side of the family's church that we went to.
Okay.
So, and once he passed away, we stopped going to that church. And
You only went there one time.
no,
No.
we'd go every Sunday. When my dad was alive. So after church, we'd all
What was your favorite thing to get?
probably flounder. Would have been it. That's all I've ever ate as a child.
My memory of fish restaurant is Long John Silver's with Dad. So if we ever had to go to Amarillo or anything like that, we would get Long John Silver's because I guess they knew I would eat the food there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there was chicken strips, and I know that they didn't just want chicken strips. I don't really know Dad's reasoning, but he would always at the end get a boat of crunchies. He would say, "I want the crunchies," and it was all the shit that falls at the bottom, and they
Yeah.
scoop it out.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Knowing that now, I'm horrified, but that was the best snack ever. So if we had a trip and then we had those left over, I would eat that shit for a snack. I was on top of it. And you can't recreate that at home.
No, sometimes you just gotta go to the place.
So
You can.
awful. So I'm going on that 80s feel.
Yeah.
80s candy. Chico Stick, Astro Pop.
Remember the Astro Pops? That was my favorite.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Fun
Chico
Dip.
Stick. Oh, Fun Dip. The original,
Rocks.
not this bougie crap they have now. We're
Yeah.
talking there was only like 3 flavors. Cherry, grape, and lemon lime.
Yeah, and the sticks did not taste good. Now they're
No,
like,
they
sticks are
didn't. They
delicious
tasted
now.
like those candy cigarettes.
Yeah, they were awful.
They were chalky and nasty,
The
and now I
big
will just
stick
eat a
ones.
whole big fat wad of them if they had them. I'm a terrible person, but that's okay. The Fun Dip stuff used to taste like unsweetened Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it was kind of sour.
It was, and now
That's one of the best parts
it's
of it.
very nice and sweet. So Oliver came in. They had gone to True Buy or Moto or one of the stores to get some candy, and he didn't have quite enough because of tax. And he comes home and he's ranting and raving about food tax. Why should food be taxed? I said food shouldn't be taxed, candy should. Well, okay. And I was like, okay, yeah. So, do you need extra money? And he said, if I want to get the candy, yeah, okay. Well, so I guess he was searching around, so I gave him some change. He comes back with 2 different things of candy. So it wasn't like he was trying to get one. So he got 2 different things, and one was Pop Rocks. And he was having the best time with them. And I was like, back in the day, Rory especially was so terrified of Pop Rocks. To this day, I don't think they'll eat them. I mean, horrified. Like, if we put them in our mouth, like, they would freak out.
Yeah.
They, I guess, thought we were going to explode.
No idea.
So that's a scary,
Texture, taste.
that's a scary candy.
Yeah.
Oliver's a trip. He's Batman.
It is fun.
I used to be cute too. I know I'm not as cute now, but I still like to play the games. We've got all these, and these are the games from my childhood. So, and I keep them in a bucket in here and near me. Periodically I play with them. But one day I will have my Smurf village. I need to just find an artist who will just craft me my own Smurf village. I would get the costume and I would live there. I would become a Smurf. Okay, I'm so full of shit. I would not do that. I'm totally lying. I might paint my fingers and pretend I have
You would
Smurfs
have
like this.
To completely paint all of you.
No, it's horrifying to think about actually doing that. I
Just
read.
imagine him dressed like a Smurf.
I'm adorable. I could pull it off.
Yeah.
Lori would agree. Lori would say I could
Papa
pull it.
Smurf.
Yeah, Papa Smurf. I was about to say Grandpa Smurf. I don't know if they have a big Papa Smurf.
I heard what you
There is a
said, and
Grandpa
that's
Smurf, that's
horrible.
for sure.
I can't stand either one of y'all. That's the later years. You're Azrael.
Cat.
No, the cat's
Yeah.
Israel. That
Well,
was Israel.
you're. I know, but I don't want to say the actual G word. We don't say their name. So you have Azrael, but we don't say your name
Right.
because it's evil. And don't you even smirk, you with your pins in your hair?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that means that you're Hagatha. I identify with the Smurfs. I need y'all to get on board.
We see that. We are
You're
doing the
gonna
best
call
we
me-
can.
you're gonna call me Papa
She's
Smurf?
Hagatha and I'm Gargamel.
You call me
That's what
Papa
you're saying?
Smurf. Shh! You said the G word.
Oh, I can say it.
You can't.
Gargamel.
Don't say it 3 times.
Gargamel.
I'm gonna need you to back off.
Is this Christy Smurf or is this?
That's
Crusty Smurf.
She's a terrible person. This is date night and you're being mean. So, we started talking about our siblings being our best friends. And
I never said that.
I do feel like because of the relationship I had with the distance and age with my siblings, that carried me through my life to where I prefer to have older friends. So if you're one of my friends, you're probably older than me.
And we're sorry that you had to go through that.
I know, at least it could just be an emotional age. So I have some show and tell stuff. For those of y'all just listening and not watching, it sucks to be you. So, speaking of the 80s, this is the original mobile phone. Because I'm a hoarder. So, yeah, here it is in its glory.
On your car phone.
And I was horrified to discover that there's a giant battery in here, and there's things falling out. So I'm gonna not.
Debris.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hang on to that too much longer. So it is now on camera, and we can dispose of it properly. Now, this is the coolest thing ever because I love Jurassic Park. So, do you know what this is?
What year did that come out?
Do you know what this is? I know it means that they are still making these. They're still making laser discs.
Yeah,
Still making them.
late 90s.
Still making them. Yes.
It's not the 80s.
You know what? I said they're still making it. Still.
You said you had.
Look,
all
I'm just
types of
excited about the laser
artifacts
discs.
from the
80s and 90s. 80s and
Oh
90s.
my god.
Look at this.
So who has a laser disc player?
Nobody I know because that would be stupid.
As dumb as owning a laser disc.
I know, right? No, this is much better because you can do something with these.
Frisbee.
Break them.
Giant
Okay,
Frisbee.
I think that it's hilarious that someone once paid $8 for this.
Yeah, that was probably like, $20 brand new.
I know, can you even imagine? I can't. It's a little dusty. Did y'all like that sound?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, some people do like that
I've
stuff.
been hacking all week anyway, so.
And
I have a trapper keeper.
you mentioned it.
Should give it to Alex to take to college.
I still have my trapper keeper. Alright. Do you know who Snoopy is?
Yes.
You know who Snoopy is? Beth.
You.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Snoopy is. I told you
So-
earlier it was my first Halloween costume.
That's what I was leading into.
My sister's only tattoo is a Woodstock on her ankle.
Oh, that's interesting.
She regretted it immediately.
Wow. I can identify with Woodstock. And Grandpa would
Woodstock's
be
the way to
Snoopy.
go if you're going to get a tattoo.
I know.
She was young and probably inebriated for her.
Hey, I like Woodstock. I identify with Woodstock. And so, Oliver
More
and
of a Snoopy.
Oliver and I determined that Grandpa was Snoopy and was the alpha dog in the family, in the household.
I thought he said he was droopy.
What? No,
He is more
Snoopy.
No, that was the conversation. I didn't say it. I just said I thought.
Oh
he said he
my
was droopy.
gosh, you're a terrible person. Mm-mm. Anywho's it. Okay, so some of this stuff that I used to watch, because we were talking about Friday night videos, some of the stuff that I used to watch on Beta
Beta.
was Teen Wolf, Footloose, Splash, and Delta Force, Predator. Yeah, all those greats. What do y'all remember watching? Date yourself.
Seen all of those.
I know, but what do you remember watching? Like, actually remember watching when you were young?
The first Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's why you're warped. Part of the
I
reason.
loved the Nightmare on Elm Street series, but I wasn't
Awful.
allowed to watch them at home. I had a best friend, another friend who I could go to her house and watch them. 4th grade. Her name was Jessica Elliott, and her mom used to leave us to go out drinking, and we'd sit at home in the cabin in the woods watching Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh my
Nice.
God.
Yep. And
That's like a dream
other
childhood.
than that, my favoriteest movie was Can't Buy Me Love. I still thought of as Cindy Mancini. And Ferris Bueller that we rented and then never took back.
Oh
We
my
watched
God,
it every day,
Offender.
3 days, 3 times a day for like an entire summer. And never returned it.
Offender.
Yep.
Oh, Revenge of the Nerds.
Yep. That was a good one.
Other than that, it was occasionally after school specials. We watched a lot of movies. My mom was tired by the time I was old enough to have these memories.
I would be tired by the time you came about anyway. I'd be like,
Left to my own devices.
I'm too tired to deal with that. So, which one? Kevin Bacon, Tom Hanks, or Michael J. Fox? Pick one.
For what?
The love of your young selves.
Probably Michael J.
I
Fox.
mentioned Cindy Mancini.
No, we're not talking about lust. We're talking about love.
I loved Cindy Mancini. It's gonna have a white Volkswagen Rabbit convertible just like her.
Don't make me jealous.
Ride off into the sunset.
No.
The runner-up then probably would have been Matthew Broderick because that's the other
No, you can't
one.
have him, and we weren't going to talk about him.
Well, we talked
Stop
about John
it.
Cusack.
Oh.
I really don't. I don't know. I can't remember him ever being in anything I purposely watched. High Fidelity. He was in that, right? It was awful. I walked out in the middle of the movie. In the movie theater.
You watched
The Sure Thing.
Scanners. Did you ever see Scanners? Watch his head.
Ooh, oh, that was an adult addiction to Angelina Jolie. That's not as a child.
Okay. Over it. Okay, interesting. I talked to Oliver earlier today about gender roles because I was interested to see his take on it at his youthful 11 almost. He reminded me he's almost 11. So I was talking to him about Grandpa. The segue was we were talking about Snoopy and then Grandpa being alpha dog, and I said, do you think that Grandpa was the same kind of dad as he is Grandpa? And he thought for a second, and he concluded that no, he probably wasn't. And I said, okay. And I said, you're right, he wasn't. He had a whole lot different values whenever I was young because things were different then and times change. And I said, did you know that, if you were a boy, you did the yard work and stuff. And if you were a girl, you did the housework and stuff. And that I used to do the housework and stuff because I was the girl and et cetera, et cetera. And so I said, do you think that that's a good thing to do? Do you think that that's what you do now? And he was like really thinking about it, and he's like, I don't know, because at first he was trying to name things that were gender specific, but then he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't make it past that. So that made me feel that like heart swell. Like I was excited that that's a real thing for our kids. Gave me hope. That's what that is. Hope.
Yeah.
So the 80s was not all full of hope.
No.
The 80s was full of broken promises. The DARE program.
Oh, that was a complete spot by
Yeah,
itself.
and it was, they had the highest drug abuse rates. I mean, I was swept up into it,
And the after-school special movies that taught us morality that really lied to us.
Oh.
Life is not like that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I had so forgotten about those.
Oh, do you remember like at the end of He-Man or She-Ra that they would have the little lesson of the day?
She-Ra. Oh yeah, She-Ra was fantastic. Fantastic. What was the other? God, not Gem. What was the other one? Barbie and the Rockets. Barbie and the Rockets had a short little stint and they had those lessons too. And Barbie was like starting to incorporate these lessons like GI Joe. So it was like Barbie versus GI Joe. At least in my head, it was.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. They had this big explosion, and lots of people were injured. But it was really cool. Anyway, that's a little side topic. Hey, you want to be on camera?
Red light.
Okay, well, you can be live. It's okay. Shame on you. Anyways, what? Okay, bye. Love you. Have fun.
Let me change out the other one or no?
No, they go out
Oh,
at different times.
Lord. What?
They go out at different times. It's about time for that one to get changed out.
Is it? It's okay. It's on
I
now.
turned it on.
It's on now.
She
It'll
turned
run
it
for
on.
about 10 minutes.
Jeez Louise. So maybe it's just whoever's in the house. We already know. Oh, we still have to get with the paranormal people. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
just like normal every time. There's a plan set up, something happens.
Yeah,
and they
and-
can't make it.
yeah,
That's what it
it's
always is for
bizarre.
any paranormal person or anybody who's coming to our house for any paranormal reason has always been stopped before they could get to our house.
Right. Oh, Bobby reached out. She had made a comment on the Wednesday podcast about Oliver being a treasure hunter. And then she said the reason is because there would be some old treasure around here. And, to get a metal detector. She just got one. And Oliver would probably love doing that. So,
Oh God, yes.
yeah. But,
Well, now
we
that you
got.
said it,
Do you remember that we had some metal detectors?
we did. We had those kid
They were
ones,
awful ones.
And yeah. Well, now that you've said it, you're gonna get ads for it on your phone, and Fred's gonna find one at a
Yeah,
garage
that's
sale.
so bizarre. Oh my gosh! Like your phone's picking up way too much for me to be comfortable. Godfather
You're
was
comfortable
it?
That's
with
what we were gonna
everything.
watch.
I really am.
Yeah.
We were talking about that
Or
too.
Goodfellas.
What was that topic of conversation that led us to that? We were talking about me being totally open. I don't remember now.
Cameras in every room. I don't
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were sort of talking about paranoia that some women feel going places that there's always a hidden video camera, and so I was like, I just always assume there's a camera. Like I always assume somebody's watching me, not like in a creepy way, but so I just like I don't know that I have much to hide. Now there's some things that might be undignified, or something like that I might not want people to see. But every one of those activities or actions human. So if I'm doing it, I know somebody else has, or is, or was, or could be, so I don't sweat it. And so it's just like, I can't think of a single thing that I would truly hide from. And I'm sure that people are watching anyway, aliens. I'm just saying.
God.
Yeah, if you believe that there's a God watching, I believe that there are eyes everywhere, that the universe has its eyes on everyone all the time. And
Ghosts are watching you.
there you go, the other side of the veil, it's always around. And I know that if I'm vibrating at that level, then they're going to see what I'm doing. So I try to do the best I can. But I can't do better unless I get my singing bowl out and just disrupt it all. I was like, yes. What are we watching? Godfather.
I don't think so. We'll figure it out. I don't know.
Whatever. Okay, so we're also going to probably eat some food. Don't talk to me about the time. Don't even look at me and ask me about it. I will say this. Carol's wearing a new dress today. It's a new to me dress.
No, it's been worn before.
I said it's a new to me dress.
That you've seen me in before, so don't even try it.
Just today I've seen you in it because I am that guy.
Just
I'm that guy. So
you're
forgive me.
So perceptive.
I know. It's bizarre that I'm as perceptive as I am.
It is.
You're right.
Very bizarre.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you everybody
No,
for
let's not
for
close
watching
Let's
and
hang out
and
for
I'm
another minute.
so uncomfortable. I'm just gonna stop you.
You are ridiculous. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Friday night.
Take care. Love you. Bye.